Now, everybody might not know this, but technically Hayley Williams for Paramore is a keyboardist before she started being a vocalist. She taught herself, and she spent a lot of time doing it. Now, with that sort of background and a rhythm and an understanding about what keyboards offer, that confidence and that always like their rhythm to sort of emphasize her ability is not uncommon as far as how vocalists actually become such great singers. Now, technically, the technology of what's inside these keyboards has been around for, you know, a while. What I'm talking about is, okay, so everybody knows that a keyboard is just a piano, but a little bit more of an electronic sound, right? It's a little bit more portable. You can take it over to some friend's house. It can be amplified. It can be hooked up to stuff. Now that's the usual first frontal sort of subconscious message that you send your brain if someone mentions keyboard. Now, people that actually own one will tell you an entirely different story. Even if you already knew the different story, the subconscious for them has everything else because they own one. Meaning it's a very spell-driven instrument. You have to like bond to it, and then you don't talk about your abilities because of it. You don't talk about what happened on one particular day or anything that a keyboardist has experienced, but the wave sound, like when you sing or you do that, can be actually controlled per instrument. Now, practice. Now, that's not your voice, that's just this instrument sounds. I mean, I have yet to be able to go into one of these places and have the people that work here actually know how to get this thing to work. But it's not there to be cute. It's there because it actually is used for that one reason. Much like when you see someone play the guitar and then they have their hand on the metal thing below and then they shake it like this after they're holding a key, and then it makes the vibrato sound of an opera singer. That's what this is. The vibrato sound of an opera singer, where it goes like this sound to the back of their voice or in the center of their chest. Now, all of these are the same thing. It's hard to get somebody that knows how to actually work one to demonstrate that concept, but people that own it know very well about that. Now, I was hoping to talk with somebody. I'm looking, okay, so this one just jumps up to $2,349. So, this one, $9,999, 16, 14. Now, $589. $399. And $799. Now, what we were looking at, so this one $25.99, and then this one is unpriced. And then we have our prices here. This one's unpriced, $329, or no, $329, $215, $319. And now what I so $2,300, and then over here where we started is $2,600. Now they have probably somebody that works here that can talk with us about it. There's this one. Do you work here? Can you send me a specialist for your keyboards?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Press the keyboards, please. Press the keyboards.
Oh man, look at this thing. A keyboard guitar for $1,000. Looks like it's new.
Dim on line 1, please. Dim line 1.
Okay, so the piano, organ, accordion, guitar, bass, strings, choir, saxophone, trumpet, brass, flute, synthesizer, lead, synthesizer, pad, percussion, drum kits, X-Glite, OTS, modern pop, 80s pop, 70s pop, 60s, 50s pop, rock, electronic and dance, disco, swing and jazz, R&B, country. Yeah, hi, I have a lot of friends on Facebook. I'm very interested in your keyboards.
Right.
Now, do you know much about them possibly?
I order them all.
Oh, you're the guy.
Right.
Okay, so I was in here about 8 years ago, and it was probably you, because I remember the person knew a lot, but it's been a very long time. Mm-hmm. Now, what you ended up showing me on one of these keyboards, and I don't remember the name of it, was something that stayed with me for years, and it just blew my mind. Now, what you showed me was, when you turned on the keyboard, was that it had a pre-recorded synthesized sound. Now, if my words are incorrect, then just go right over it. But basically, it was, I remember being very rhythmic, and then if you pressed a key, then it would just bump it, and it would change it slightly. And it would still go, and it'd be very ocean-like, very harmonic-like, and you could just sort of swerve it or move it. Now, would you know anything about what I'm talking about?
Well, maybe. So you were looking, was it like a synth pad or something like that? Do you remember?
I just know that without touching it, it was making music, and then when you touched a key, it just sort of bumped the music and changed it.
Okay, so this is like...
Now, what would happen if you touch a key? Like one of these.
This is not set up for this to be down here.
Okay, so it's set up to be up.
You this and set it. You have it set up for down here.
Oh, okay.
These are all sampled.
Yeah, sample music. Where did you get these from, and can you get more?
Yeah, there's a bunch of these in here. This is on bank number A. There are 8 banks.
Okay.
Okay, that you can set up. But the idea would be that each one has a particular sound on each one. But they're made to all work together.
So you can play one and another one.
Right.
Could you technically play all 16 at the same time? You can. Wow. Wow, okay. Now, and that's only one bank. So
right.
You're saying there's... You
8
can switch
different
the
banks, right.
Now, as far as recording what it does when it does it, does it have a place where it does that? And if so...
this one does have a built-in sequencer, so you can record different parts over parts.
Okay, and how many layers can you have?
That would be up to, well, it's about how many notes it is. It will do a 40,000 note sequence.
I see.
So that would mean you could have 15 parts going at one time.
I guess what I'm asking you, what's your first name, by the way?
Fred.
Fred and Curtis. Okay, now if you're having the keyboard playing something that you already recorded that you liked, and you want to then play that and then advance on top of it, now hold on, and then you also want a third layer. Will it basically, you see where I'm going with that?
Right.
Does it work in that way, or does it work in something close to that?
Well, it does close to that. I mean, obviously the sequencer is already pre-programmed. That's what all this stuff is, pre-programmed. So then the sequencer can be playing, then I can still play over the top of that.
Okay.
Then I can still record what I'm playing on top of the sequence, and then play over that again.
Okay, now where is that controlled at?
Okay, well, first of all, it's going to be under the sampler's on the active, so that's what's got all this stuff in it.
Okay, the sampler is active. So
right.
those numbers can change depending on these also.
Exactly.
I see.
But here I can actually be playing something over here. I can go over here to where it says audio record right here. So while I'm playing, I can push the audio record button. It's going to record this on top of the sequencer. Okay, then I can turn this off. It's still going to, when I turn the sequencer back on, it's going to play the part that was already in the sequencer, and then the part that I just played will be on top of that.
Now, does any of this have anything to do with these numbers?
Actually, when it goes in there and you're actually doing a sequence, and these numbers turn out from a bank into a sequence number of 16 sequences.
Now, is it anything to do with 16 layers of memory?
No.
No, okay.
No, that's not on this part.
That's not on that part.
No.
That is on what part?
Well, the 16 layers of memory, you can layer more than that, because the sequencer only it's about how many thousands of notes you're using.
So you can technically, so what you're telling me is as far as layers are concerned, because we're dealing with the concept of 3.5 minutes, 4.5 minutes for a song. Right. And we're dealing with, from what you're telling me, you have confidence that it could do up to 16 layers.
For sure. Right off the bat, it can do 16 layers.
So how is that, so you're playing, and then you're on top, you start playing on top of it, and it starts recording that.
Right.
Now, you can then advance on that, play that one, and then now, do you have to delete anything old, or can you just keep on going?
You can keep on going. These are, not only are they 16, these are 16 different sequences. There's 16 different parts to each sequence.
Oh.
That's already in here.
Okay.
So it'll hold 16 sequences, and each sequence will have 16 parts, up to 40,000 notes.
Okay. So, as far as where they get held after you record it.
Okay, well, it can be held in memory, but if you want to do more, then if you flip it on the back, it has an SD card that you can save your sequences to. Okay. Or you can go right out into a laptop. Okay. And then record them all onto a laptop.
Now,
keep them in a laptop.
As far as any of that showing, does it have anything to do with that? As far as like putting in your memory card?
Yes. Obviously, over here it's got an SMP. This is your SIM card right here. Okay.
So yeah, it does. It has on the bottom right.
Right. So you're able to check that, and well, it has a bunch of different functions. So you know,
so you just press function.
Right combinations, and this is for me to do a combination where I've got some kind of drum machine going on. So I can set that up and save that as every time we come to this patch, that is the drum beat that's being played.
I see.
If I go down here like this, and auto song setup, add copy from program. This is all in that one function. If we go back and we go to function, we go page 2. This is going up. Let's go to the menu, set up to record. So this is what it's getting ready to do. The sequencer button's already on, and it's waiting for me to play something to start the sequence.
I see.
Okay. So cancel that back. If we go, when we're doing it like this, let's go to shift here. Maybe I have to go to enter. I'm going to exit out of that, and then I got to push something else here. I can't remember which one it is. There's a function in there. It's going back to set up to record.
Now, as far as these categories go, these are, now when you say bass guitar, can you give an example on what happens when you play the keyboard on certain different instruments? You can go in and set it back down.
Yeah, so this is a...
Now what is this called? This sounds like...
This one says it's bass and piano, so up here...
So bass on the left side, piano on the right side?
Right. And then this is a new bass. That's because it's on combo mode.
Now, what does combo mode do exactly? Because that's what I was looking for before.
Together. I'm able to set them and do a split on this side. Let's turn the combo
now, how did it do that just now? Because that's what I was looking for. How did it just jump to a pre-recorded sound?
Yeah, well, because remember we have a drum track that's actually set to this specific combination mode.
So now, what happens if you press something else? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Now you were talking before about bass, and then you were going to do some more examples.
So what we're going to do is this. So we're going to go to more, it says mode progression here. So this is actually individual bass.
Now explain exactly what is bass to the camera.
This is like trying to duplicate upright bass sound,
now
synth bass sound.
Are you meaning a bass guitar?
Yes.
Now a bass guitar is the one that has the deeper sound.
Right. So we can do like electric. This says electric bass, electric bass. Let's go to fretless. Fret that.
So this is as if somebody was fingering this on a bass guitar.
Yeah. Then kick bass. Dub bass. So now it sustains, it drops off. Double bass, kick bass.
And what is that you're doing with your right hand? What is that? What button is that?
Over here, I'm going through all the different patches for bass.
Oh, okay. So you're moving the dial because it's scrolling down.
Right.
Okay. Deep triangle bass.
Digibass. If I get up in this, a lot of 80s.
Can you do a lot of? Can you do what is this?
This is called the synth bass. Now, even in this, I could change stuff over here. We're going to change the octave.
John Rock, line 4. John, line 4.
And then go back to this, and we're going to effect, it's effect. So we're going to go back to tone. So I'm able to change.
Is that all coming from this?
Yeah, this is the only thing that's on.
Okay. Now do a regular guitar that's electric.
Let's go back to here. Electric, nylon, flamenco, sitar, electric guitar. So.
And try to use this as much as you can, because they're gonna just love that.
Let's go to.